Hi friends, and welcome to my first video of my first channel. This is so exciting. I am so excited to do this. So, my name is ChaimTovah, and I am here to share with you my journey into becoming more environmentally aware and eco-conscious, and hopefully you'll want to join me on my journey, because you know what? It's something we all, I think, should move towards, and it's something we can all do one step at a time. I know it seems like a huge thing to change your entire life to keep the environment in mind, but it's really not. Just the smallest little acts, a little bit at a time, can help, you know? And right now, the planet needs all the help it can get. Climate change is just increasing at a faster and faster rate, and single-use plastic is the king right now, and there's just so much that isn't being paid attention to in the media as much, or in politics as much, and I, being a very apolitical person, I'm not going to focus so much on the politics side of environmentalism, because I know that there is a whole side to it over there, supporting bills and voting for the right candidates that have the same environmental views and whatnot. I totally get that. Not my jam. Politics to me are... How do I even... I don't know. I think people should be able to govern themselves. I think we should all have the proper confidence to govern ourselves, because I'll tell you something, in my opinion, we've got the tools to do it. We really do. We have the internet, we have computers, we have YouTube, we have all the tools we need to be self-governing bodies. They're just... I guess is something missing upstairs for some people that don't make it function well as a big group or nation to just govern yourself. Which makes sense. It does on a sociological view of it. Anyway, what you are seeing on your screen right now. This is me hiking. Originally, starting this channel, I wanted to do kind of a hiking guide channel where I took you on these hikes and I told you about the hikes and I rated the hikes, and I'm gonna be honest, I just kind of lost the fuel for that. I mean, I'm gonna give some information on this hike for sure, but moving forward, I don't know if I'm gonna use the hikes just as scenery, or if maybe I'll have like a segment where I rate the hike and the rest of the show where I'm talking about the new environmental things I've learned or whatever. I don't know yet. Like I said, work in progress. I have no idea what I'm doing, but this hike is beautiful. It's called the Tumalo Falls Loop. It is a hike in Bend, Oregon. Bend, Oregon is located in Central Oregon, and it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful outdoorsman town. It is the perfect town for outdoorsy people. If you like camping, hiking, skiing, snowshoeing, paddleboarding, rafting, fishing, you name it that you could do outdoors, and Bend is the place to do it. It's a high mountain desert, so the climate is just fantastic. It's a small town with big city mentality, which is kind of a plus for some people. So you like have all the cool amenities that you would have in a bigger urban city, but it is a small, like, spread out town. Yeah, I'm loving it so far. I'm only here temporarily, but I definitely would not be upset with living here permanently. So this hike, the loop that I did anyway, you can choose to do a smaller hike, or you can choose to do the big loop, and the big loop is about 8 miles long. It took me about 4 hours. And you see a total of 13 waterfalls. I only saw 11 because I missed a fork in the road, which would have taken me to the other 2. But I mean, even 11. Holy cannoli, guys. Like, 11 waterfalls. I don't know if you like waterfalls as much as I like waterfalls. I love waterfalls. And to see 11 of them in one hike was incredible to me. I was just overjoyed. It was so much fun. So this stuff that's going on in the video right now is me showing you the main fall. The main fall is 97 feet tall. It cascades down beautifully, as you can see, into the rest of the Tumalo Creek. So all these waterfalls are on Tumalo Creek, which brings me up to, what is the difference between a creek and a river? Because, like, looking at this, seeing a waterfall, seeing the body of water below it and stuff, I would have said this is a river. But it's a creek. I don't know what the difference is. So if you know, and you're watching this, and you want to educate me, boom, let me know. What's the difference between a creek and a river? I thought that creeks were, like, significantly smaller than rivers, but, like, when I imagine a creek, I imagine, like, a 1 foot wide streaming body of water. So maybe I do know, like, the difference between a creek and a river, and my sizing reference was just off. I don't know. So to touch a little bit more on myself, for those of you who are watching this and don't know me personally, I am a performer. I love to act and sing and tell stories and make people laugh. And with the current condition of the world, COVID-19 and whatnot, I don't really have that many outlets to do that. And so I've turned to creating content, which is a whole new world for me. I am used to someone handing me a script or like having some background on something and going from there. With this stuff, I am going straight from scratch, guys. Even this whole new environmental journey that I've decided to embark on is new to me, because I'm going to be honest, as much as I like recycle and think I was doing my part before this enlightenment that I reached recently, I wasn't. And it is a process. I am learning. And I am always open to advice from whoever is willing to give it in a kind manner. Because that's what life is all about, you know? No one knows everything. No one pops out of the womb being like, ah ha ha, I've got it. Ha ha ha. This whole life thing, piece of cake, as an infant, right? No, of course, we can't even speak when we're born. Life is a learning journey, and no matter what you decide to embark on, it is a learning journey, and that's what this is for me. And I've just decided to make myself the most vulnerable I can be and share my learning journey with whoever is out there willing to listen, basically. So, my journey for this hike, 4 hours. I only have about 45 minutes to show you, because I don't know that anybody would want to sit through 4 hours of anything, really. I mean, any of you guys out there see the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame movies? Like, that was pretty tough, making me sit in a movie theater for 3 hours. Pretty tough, even when it's something you want to be watching. So I wasn't about to post 4 hours of a very beautiful yet very long hike. And therefore, I have condensed it down to 45 minutes. I show you some very beautiful waterfalls and just kind of go from there, I guess. If you feel like going on this hike, I will give you some tips here and there about it and what I learned. Like, first off, as you probably noticed, I already passed this point in the video, but as you probably noticed, the first fall there is a very popular attraction, and there aren't that many people wearing masks. So I just want to point that out for those of you who are very conscious about COVID-19 and trying to stay as safe as possible. There aren't very many masks on this hike. There are some, but not everyone is wearing one. So obviously, be responsible for yourself. Make sure you wear a mask on this hike. And really, that's all I've got for you, because at this point in time, when it comes to this pandemic anymore, you're wasting your energy getting mad at other people for not wearing masks. You know, all it's doing is wearing negatively on you, and not so much them, because they're not going to wear a mask whether you yell at them or not. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself, guys. Make sure you're wearing a mask. If that's something that concerns you, wear a mask. Wash your hands. Take a shower. And as always, brush your teeth. That has nothing to do with COVID, but please, brush your teeth. Let's be healthy here. I took with me 3 water bottles on this hike. 3 water bottles, one of them being a Camelback, not a water bottle. So I guess maybe even 4 water bottles in total. And I will say I went through half that on this hike. So make sure you bring enough water. If you are going to do the whole thing, the whole loop, the whole 4-hour thing, bring a snack. There are some beautiful scenic places where you can just have a seat and eat your snack and take in the nature. And you will be starving by the end of this hike if you don't bring a little bit of a snack. And what else about the hike? I don't know, really, that's kind of it. The hike treks along the Tumalo Creek, which I mentioned earlier when talking about the falls. It goes along Tumalo Creek and Bridge Creek. Now, Bridge Creek is also used as a natural water source for Bend. So once you get to a certain point in this hike, pets are no longer allowed and bikes are no longer allowed. The rest of the hike is open to mountain bikes uphill, and you can bring pets that is leashed. But as soon as you get past the 4th waterfall, which I believe is the Middle Fork Tumalo Fall, and it's a beautiful big waterfall. Once you get past that, you'll see a sign, and it'll be from like the city of Bend, and it will tell you that pets are no longer allowed beyond that point and whatnot. And I just ask to everyone who might go on this hike is please respect that. You know, it might not seem to a big deal to some people to listen to signs, but the problem with that is that it ends up ruining it for the rest of us. So listen to the signs. If it says don't bring your dog, don't bring your dog. I'm sure your dog is an awesome adventure dog, and I'm sure it would have a blasty blast. But just don't bring him. Don't get in trouble. Don't get the trail closed. Now, some of the thoughts going through my head on this hike. I had a huge concern about wildfires when I went on this hike, when I filmed this hike. I was kind of freaking out about it, I'm not gonna lie. And it really got me on to this environmentalism kick, is the wildfires that were happening along the West Coast, because believe it or not, I know people that live in those cities. I know people that have been directly affected, and it makes me indirectly affected. I mean, my grandparents lived so close to Highway 22 that they ended up evacuating their house just to be safe, and that was a very scary thing. Luckily, the flames didn't get anywhere near their house, but other houses were decimated. And I was just thinking about that on this hike, because as you'll notice, going through these woods, there's a lot of burnt wood around. A lot of these trees, some of them are just stumps that are charred, and some of them you can see the charred bark crawling up until like the middle of the tree. Well, that's because in 1979, the Bridge Creek fire absolutely decimated this forest. It completely changed the creek bed and the way the creek flowed and everything. So I was thinking about that, and it was freaking me out. It was really like, what can we do, man? What can we do to stop these wildfires? It's not okay. It's destroying our environment, and this and that. And that's where I'm going to pause and let you know that, like, when you feel so strongly about something like this, don't let the anxiety get a hold of you before you do research. Research the things that you are passionate about. Okay, whether it be just like a topic or a skill. Like, obviously, if you're passionate about a skill, you're going to learn about it before you master it, right? You're going to either have a teacher that gives you lessons, or you're going to follow YouTube tutorials, or you're going to read about it and then practice what you read. Well, it's the same thing with issues in the world that you feel strongly about. And I only take the time to say that because I didn't take the time to consider that when I was going crazy thinking about these wildfires. And what I learned after doing research is that wildfires are actually very okay. Wildfires are Mother Nature's way of cleansing herself and making room for new growth. And while our climate change is affecting wildfires, whether the climate change were there or not, we're going to have wildfires. They're always going to be there. Right now, our biggest problem isn't the wildfires. It's the fact that they're burning our towns down. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, that is a very, very personal problem. Mother Nature does not really care about our towns. And honestly, from an environmental point of view, neither should we. We can always rebuild towns. Yes, is it a loss? 100%. When you lose your house and all your belongings, it's tragic. It really is. I feel for those people. I don't even know how I would react to losing all of my material possessions. But the thing about those possessions is that they can all be replaced. You know, yes, I understand family photos and whatnot. They can't really be replaced, especially if you have family members that are now deceased and whatnot. But are you ever going to forget those family members? Is not having those photos going to distance you in any way from your human connection to your family? No, it's not. And losing your house and your material possessions will be devastating for a while, but guess what? You will move on eventually, and you will rebuild, and you will grow from it. And so our focus shouldn't be how do we stop the wildfires. We don't want to stop the wildfires. We just want to protect our civilization from them. And that makes sense. So how do we do that? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. Other than controlled burns, I don't know what else we could do to help protect our cities when it comes to the wildfire front. It's something that I'm going to be researching more. Maybe it's something that I'll bring up again in my next video. But controlled burning is definitely one step we can take. And again, I still need to do some more research on how many controlled burns take place in Oregon and how we go about that kind of thing, because I feel like we're not really that good at it, but I don't have the actual facts to back that opinion. It's just from personal observations. Like, I've never really seen any controlled burns happening around Oregon, and I live in some pretty forested areas of Oregon, so, you know, I don't really know. But think about your community, right? Maybe you're watching this video and you don't live in Oregon, and think about what steps does your community take to address wildfires? Maybe where you live, wildfires aren't even an issue, which brings me to the next issue, right? Wildfires aren't an issue everywhere. So I want to focus on issues that are everywhere that we can actually fix, that I know some more about. And the first thing that I'm going to talk about on this is eco and ethically conscious companies. Our culture thrives off of consumerism. If you don't know what consumerism is the lifestyle of buying products that are put out by corporations and or companies. Consuming something is to use it or wear it or eat it. It is to buy it. So for anybody in the audience that might be younger, doesn't know what consumerism is, that's what it is. It's just buying things, using things, to consume, to use, to, yeah, you get it. Anyway, our society thrives off of consumerism. Our culture is based completely around it. Money makes the world go round because we like to buy products, right? Right. So, how can we become more eco-conscious and not become a caveman or a hermit that lives in the wood that never buys anything? Well, you can look into eco and ethically conscious companies. And there's actually a fantastic website that I recently came by that can help you do that. It is called B Corp. B Corp is a company that other companies register with, and they go through an application process and what's the word I'm looking for here? Not control, but like they oversee your company, right? And based off how your company functions, they tell the consumer whether your company is on good terms of ethics and environmentalism. So trying to use my words intelligently here, and I'm totally just eating it. But B Corp grades companies based on how environmentally and ethically friendly they are. So when a company makes their goods out of recycled materials, they might be on B Corp. That is a qualification of B Corp. When they go about sourcing their materials ethically, meaning they source locally, they do not import and things like that. They source it from where they are. They get the things from where they are. That is also a rating in B Corp. So if you look up B Corp, it'll take you to their website, and you can kind of just look around there, and they have a whole list of companies, like 200 plus companies, that are on their A game of being environmentally and ethically friendly. So I really suggest it, B Corp. It's a really, really great website. It has led me to see some companies that I would be interested in buying from, and whatnot, because that is really a huge step in the right direction, guys. If we start buying from companies that make their products out of recycled materials, that source their products ethically, that already can bring down our greenhouse emissions, our greenhouse gas emissions, right? And greenhouse gas emissions is a big deal because it's affecting our atmosphere. And our atmosphere is literally what keeps us alive, guys. Without our atmosphere, this planet would not be inhabitable. Like, our atmosphere is one of the main reasons why our planet is even habitable. And our planet's atmosphere is thanks in great part to the amount of water we have on our planet, which segue into water conservation. I am all for water conservation, people, because yes, okay, we are the blue planet. We have so much water on this planet, but guess what? We have so many people on this planet, and people need a lot of water to survive. We ourselves are made up of water, right? So it's important to save our water. And one of the steps I have taken in saving water is using my dishwater to water my garden. And this is actually something I learned from a really good friend of mine. They are working on building their home into a homestead and just being sustainable, which I am all for. They're definitely one of my inspirations in my journey towards eco-friendliness and sustainability. And they taught me about watering your garden with your dishwater. Now, if you use natural soaps, so natural being plant-derived soaps that don't contain any toxic chemicals in them, right? Maybe they're not all organic. Maybe not all the ingredients in your soap is organic. But if it is non-toxic, then it's not going to harm your plants. So if you wash your dishes with non-toxic soap and you save that dishwater, you can then use that dishwater to water your garden. And right there, you're already saving however many gallons of water it would take to water your garden, right? So that's one step. Another step I've taken in saving water, as well as reducing my single-use plastic, which I'll talk a little bit more here in a minute, is I have started to buy cleaning products that come as tablets instead of big bottles of cleaning products. Okay, there are huge issues in the cleaning industry when it comes to environmentalism. The first thing is single-use plastic. Most cleaners you get all come in single-use plastic containers, meaning they're not refillable. They're just a big bottle of something that you buy, and when you're done with it, you throw it away and you buy a new one. This is so wasteful, you guys. For one, think about how much liquid is in our cleaning products, okay? All of that liquid is water. The soapy stuff did not originate as a liquid, right? It's stuff that they put into water to make it a soapy liquid. So you're already buying gallons of water in these single-use plastic containers when you could be saving money and buying a compressed tablet of cleaner that you would then put into water, right? So then you're in control of how much water you're using. You don't have to fill up a 2-gallon container. You could fill up a 16-ounce container and put it in there, right? So you're controlling the amount of water you use, and you can put it in anything, therefore eliminating the single-use plastic. I am using right now a brand of products called Blue Land. I highly suggest them to anyone who is looking for a solution to single-use plastic. They're great. So when you first buy their kit, and you don't have to buy their kits, right? You could just buy the cleaner. When you first buy one of their kits, though, it comes with 4 reusable bottles, reusable containers to put your cleaner in, which, again, if you have your own bottles at home already, like your own spray bottles that you've already bought, you don't need to buy their containers. You can just buy their cleaners. And their cleaners come in compressed tablets that are made up of all natural cleaning materials. So all non-toxic cleaning materials. They're made up with things that are going to get the job done in cleaning, but not be toxic to the environment. Okay, so we've got so many check marks here for environmentally friendly product. Blue Land cleaning products. I really suggest that you check them out. They are awesome. If you follow me on social media, I recently posted a video on my story of me setting up their products. It is so cool. And it's awesome. Just go check them out. Just go check them out. And hey, if you want to check me out on social media too, you're welcome to. I will say my social media is more of a personal thing. I haven't really embarked on my channelness in my social media. But if you want to follow me, my screen name on pretty much all social media platforms is Ativa Panic. Ativa, and then Panic, but with a K. Don't ask me why. It's been my gamer tag forever. I just decided to use it. I did recently look into what the word Ativa means, and in some languages it means woman, which I'm okay with, you know? I am a woman, so go for it. It's a nickname that a friend just randomly gave to me, and I just developed it into my gamer tag, and that's just what I'm known throughout the interwebs. But yeah, feel free to give me a follow on Instagram if you would like. I will say I'm not very active on Facebook as of late, as of really ever. I don't totally agree with social media in general. I just know that it's a way of communicating, and I love taking pictures. I love photography, which is why my Instagram is so much more active than my Facebook, is because for me, Instagram is more of an outlet to share my photography with people than an actual, like, social media outlet. I personally think, like, you want to hang out with your friends, hang out with them, or call them, in this case, because of COVID-19, or Zoom them, you know? Anyway. Alright, so where were we? B Corp, Blue Land, my journey, being a part of it. I am just so happy to be doing this, and I'm almost at the end here, guys. So I just would like to open up the platform, I guess. Please comment, and please subscribe. I want to say I'm going to be doing this every week. And I've already said it, so I guess I gotta kind of stick to that. I will say, right now I am battling technology at every turn, so I will probably be getting some new technology, which might put a little bit of a gap in between when this video comes out and when my next video comes out. But then again, it also might not. I'm not, 100% sure on that one. Looking into some new video editing desktops, because, and I will say, part of the reason why this is a thing for me is because I've always been a tiny bit anti-technology. I don't necessarily like technology, but I also don't necessarily dislike it because I use it, obviously. I mean, I'm using it right now, and right now it's kind of my, I don't know, Hail Mary, I guess, like my save me thing, because I can't perform live on stages right now. I can't connect in my art with people without using the internet right now. So technology is a love-hate relationship with me. And because of that, I have been really battling on whether I want to buy a new PC to work on these videos on, because that's like a whole box of plastic and metal. But life is about finding the balance. It really is. You gotta find the balance, you guys. I'm not asking people to abandon the modern world for the sake of the environment. That would be a huge ask. What I am asking people, though, is to come to realize that when you make a mistake, you have to go back and correct it to move forward in the right direction, right? And that's kind of what we need to do as a global community right now. I will say that when I talk about my ideas of how we could fix the future, I mention a lot going back to tribal style living. I mention a lot reverting back to a barter trade system. On like literal scales, obviously, like, I'm not saying let's go back to the 12th century, or whatever time it was when people, it's actually probably before that. 12th century is like what, the Crusades, so before that even. I don't know when it was, but I'm not saying let's like go back to the tribal areas literally, but it's like obviously somewhere along our evolution to what human civilization is right now, somewhere on the path of evolution for civilization, we went wrong. And we are so far past that point that we don't even know where we went wrong, really. Not really. I mean, we have some ideas, right? Like, we have some ideas. But we can't pinpoint the exact moment in time when, as a civilization, we went wrong. And because of that, we can't just go back to how things were to that point in time to try and redo, obviously. But we still need to go back, guys. We still need to retrace our steps. You can't fix a problem without going back and checking your work. And that's what we need to do. We need to take a few steps back and see how we can move forward again in a better way. Because I'm going to tell you, the way that we are moving forward right now is not good, in my opinion. It's not. Nothing about where civilization is headed right now comforts me in any way, shape, or form. And I'm talking about it all, guys. I am talking about economy. I am talking about politics. I am talking about the environment. I am talking about human connections and human health and longevity. It's not going in a good place right now. And we need to go back and just figure out what we did wrong and fix it. And then guess what? We'll still come back to where we're at now. Do we really need an iPhone 20? We've got 20 other models. Do we need it? Do we? We don't. We don't need it. We could take a pause on our tech right now. We could take a pause on our tech and focus on our planet. Because we don't want those fancy shuttles that Mr. Musk is coming up with to take us to Mars. We don't want those to be a one-way ticket. We don't want those to be an escape plan. We want them to be a commodity. And until we figure out what we need to fix to heal our planet again, to get our planet and ourselves on the right path, that's what we're heading for, guys. Right now, we are heading for a mission to Mars to save our species, not a mission to Mars to discover it. So, some things to think about. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate your time more than I can even say. I appreciate you listening to me rant. I appreciate you watching my video. And I appreciate your support and any helpful advice that you may have to give to me. I love you guys. I really hope that I've given some good insight here. And please comment with any questions or advice. I will say, please don't comment to just bag on me. If you want to bag on me to your friends. Don't bag on me to me. Like, constructive criticism only, please. I am not a person that is about bringing people down for your own satisfaction. So if you want to teach me something, but don't make me small. Every content creator out there is really putting themselves out there for everyone. And so obviously be kind. Something you should do every day anyway. Be kind, drink water, get outside, and maybe you'll see me next week. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you.